In the movie Inception, we follow Dom Cobb, an expert in extraction. Cobb preys on individuals when they are in a dream state and then steals their most protected secrets from their subconscious. Because of this rare talent, Cobb is used as a corporate spy, which as a result has caused him to lose almost everything he has ever loved. Now Cobb is given one final chance, but this time he is asked to plant an idea versus steal one.
Inception.
Throughout the film, Cobb and his crew are in and out of dream world many times, making the viewer figure out what is a dream and what is reality. Christopher Nolan gives us a few hints to help us interpret what is a dream and what is reality. Nolan does this through the use of totem and the implementation of Professor Stephen Miles. Through these uses, one can come to the conclusion that in the end of Inception, which is an open ending, can be interpreted as Cobb returning to reality. First, let's look at the use of totem. Cobb uses this as a way to know what is reality and what is a dream. When Cobb spins it, if it's a dream, it spins forever endlessly, unaffected by physics. If he's in reality, it will stop spinning and obviously be affected by physics. Here we see an example of Cobb returning to reality and using the top to know he is back. Notice how it doesn't spin perfectly and it wobbles. Here we see him using it in a dream. Notice the flawless spin with no extra movements. Now let's look at the final scene where the big question is Cobb back to reality, or did he himself get lost in the dream world? We see Cobb return home, where he is reunited with his kids. We see Cobb pull out the totem and spin it, which at first it appears to spin flawlessly, indicating he's in a dream. But the shot continues as Cobb enters the midground, embracing his children, and as camera pans and zooms slowly to the totem, bang! We see the totem begin to wobble and then cut to black. This leaves the audience to interpret this open-ended and ambiguous ending, and through the use of wobbling totem, one can conclude he is back to reality. Next, let's look at Michael Caine's character, Professor Stephen Miles. When we first see the professor, we can conclude that Cobb is in reality. Here, Cobb spins his totem, and we see it fall. The film progresses from there to Cobb going to visit his mentor and father-in-law, Professor Stephen Miles. So we can conclude he's seeing him in reality. Then Cobb begins his quest of assembling his team and begins going in and out of the dream world, where not once do we see Professor Stephen Miles. This makes sense, since he is not with them on the journey. Now fast forward to the end of the film. Cobb wakes up, gets off the plane, gets through customs, and who do we see? Ding ding ding, there he is, Professor Stephen Miles awaiting Cobb. We then see them go home, where the professor is present the entire time. Michael Caine solidifies this argument, where in an interview he stated that he is only seen in reality. Therefore, if you see him, you are in reality. It is highly debated whether the ending of Inception is reality or a dream. Through Nolan's use of totem and Professor Stephen Miles, one can conclude that the ending of Inception is in fact reality.